Hi there. Welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading from Junodrome Intuitive Arts. Today, we're going to be asking, why is your soul here? What is the purpose of your soul being here in this moment? Now, it's important to remember, I personally believe that we go through many different things in life, and there are many reasons why we may be in this existence. And so this reading is going to be about, why are you here right now? What is happening to your soul right now? What is the larger soul journey that you're on in this moment? What is the lesson that you're learning, or the system that you're moving through, or the pattern that you're breaking? Or what is your soul trying to do here in this moment? We're going to find that out together. So please take a look at these piles. You can either choose pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. Once again, that's pile 1, pile 2, and pile number 3. Go ahead and pause this video now if you would like more time. We're going to have a brief moment. I will sit for our card selection if you want an extra moment. Otherwise, we're going to get straight into the readings. So here we go. Let's take a moment to figure it out. In the description section, you will find a link to your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. What is your soul doing here? Why are you here in this moment? Well, and like I said in the intro, this is going to be about, why are you here right now, right? What's going on right now in your soul's journey that is bringing you here? So, you chose this bat card, and it says on the back, embrace the dark. So there's a possibility that right now you are going through maybe some kind of shadow work, or you're working through some difficult dark energies. That's a part of why you're here, right? And I think it's important, especially with this embrace the dark card, it's important to remember that, like, as much as darkness can seem scary, or we come up with these false dichotomies of good versus evil, dark versus light, all of those kinds of things. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that there is the multitude in all of us, and sometimes things don't fit in such clean packages. And there is a bit of an understanding here of realizing that. And I think maybe that's a part of what your soul is here in this moment, is kind of like breaking down some of those false dichotomies. There's a lot of cards we're going to look at today to try to get this. So I think I have 3 kind of archetypal cards that we're going to look at, and then we'll look at tarot stuff. So let's break down your archetypes. You've got the antelope. You've got the poet. Wow. You've got the lovers. And I can't show this fully, but we'll go here. You've got the lovers. And we'll do this last archetype too. You've got the cross. Okay, so these archetypes are speaking together, and the bat as well. So there's interesting things. With the poet, I do think there's a sense of your soul needing to express itself. And that's a part of what's going on, is this journey is bringing you closer to understanding life and reality on this deeper level. The Lover's card can talk about connecting in with someone else, but honestly, it can also be talking about connecting in on the soul on a deeper level, connecting into the self on a deeper level, uniting all parts of who you are and flowing within that. I think for some people here, this is a general reading, but okay, take this as it resonates. If this isn't resonating for you, there could be a different pile. These are general readings. But I'm getting a sense of romantic relationships being important in this, especially with that lovers, and maybe kind of a dynamic that you've been falling into is something that you're unlearning and you're breaking. With that antelope card, this is like the prey versus the predator, right? And so I think that, you know, with that antelope card, there's a feeling of being preyed upon. And I think that maybe a part of what your soul is doing is learning how to undo that dynamic. You know, the victim mentality. Not to say that if you have been victimized that you should downplay that, but there's a sense to, it's important to remember that sometimes we can get lost in those feelings of, oh my gosh, these terrible things happened to me, and now all I am ever is this terrible thing that happened to me, and you know, getting really lost in those events instead of healing from them, transcending from them, moving on from them. And there's a bit of a feeling in this reading of that being a part of what your soul is doing in this moment, is learning how to undo maybe some of those dynamics where you are feeling as though you're being preyed upon by others, and learning how to see it from a larger level. It's interesting. This is something that I kind of went through myself. And so I'm just remembering some of the things I learned. You know, there was at one point where I realized that the predator and the prey as an archetype are actually two faces of the same thing, right? And that in a relationship dynamic, in like a codependency dynamic, or, you know, the predator and the prey kind of take on, you know, they're both manifestations of the same dynamic, right? And how do I explain this? It really is, you know, you facing those false dichotomies and being really, really coming face to face with those. And, you know, the lovers is the twins, it's Gemini. It's the sign of Gemini. And I do feel that for you, that there's a sense that a part of what your soul is doing here in this moment is learning. And, you know, this could be like much deeper too. You know, I think it's important to remember that this could be much deeper on the, you know, on your soul's journey over lifetimes and lifetimes. You don't have to subscribe to the ideas of reincarnation and all of that if you don't want to, but I do, and I'm moving forward in this reading from that understanding. But I mean, you take what fits, leave what doesn't, always. But there is a sense in this that dynamic has been playing out for you over lifetimes, I think, where, you know, some lifetimes you are the predator and some lifetimes you are the prey, maybe even literally, right? If we think about life existing on a larger continuum, I mean, you could literally be as animals in the past, you know, and you could very much have, you know, lifetimes as animals and, you know, all of that, you know, take it for you. But I do think in this, there's a sense of that old dynamic playing out over and over and over again. And so this is the lifetime and the moment, I think, where you really learn how to unpack that and see that, you know, it just is reminding me of like the self-perpetuation, not just even self, but the perpetuation of trauma into the world. It exists in this way of like, there's the victim and the victimized, but there's the victimized and the victimizer, right? Or, you know what I mean? The person who's putting that onto somebody else. But, you know, so many times that person is putting something that was put onto them, you know, and so it's that perpetuation of the system, the systematic trauma that's perpetuated over and over again. And I think with that embrace the dark, it's about seeing it fully and learning how to unpack it and using that on a larger level. You know, with the cross, particularly in this fairy tale Lenormand deck, It's been a while since I've used this, so it's great to take it back out. But look at that spiritual connection happening, that this person is having this deeply mystical spiritual connection. And I think that that's kind of the importance of the moment that you're in, and understanding, ooh, I like how it shines in that. You know, that's the sense that is happening in this, is learning how to see the dynamic on the larger multidimensional facet, and then unpacking that on a spiritual plane within the self, and using that unpacking to heal, first of all, and to share wisdom. Because the poet shares that understanding and that spiritual connection with the universe. I mean, look at this person is like having this mystical experience within herself, and she is the poet. You know, she's now learning how to communicate these feelings into words in this poetic way. And I do think, you know, you may be a writer here, you may be a poet, you may be a songwriter, or using some kind of expression. It could be an arts. There is a need to express this understanding, whatever this is, whatever the larger spiritual understanding that you're learning now. There's a larger dimension of expressing that into the world and sharing it with others. And I think that that's a big part of why you're here, and why you're here right now. So particularly if you're unpacking this kind of dynamic now, and it seems really hard, and you don't really know how to move forward from it, I think that maybe there's a little bit of future self energy coming in with that poet card of reminding you that, hey, that this, if you heal from this and you learn how to feel from this, like that could be used to move you forward and to share with others, and it could be profoundly influential and important in other people's lives as well. And beyond that, you know, this artistic expression could actually be one of the keys to help you unlock this as well, to heal from it. You know, you could use written expression, journaling, creation, art in order to heal some of this stuff too. And maybe your soul is craving that spiritual connection and expression through artistic pursuits in some fashion as well. You know, and you don't even have to be, you know, an artist, quote unquote, but we all have creative expression within all of us. And I do think that there is a need for you to choose that, to help you unpack some of this stuff and move through some of this stuff and express the parts of you that need to be expressed. So let's take a look at the tarot now. Now that we know a little bit about the archetypes of where you're coming from, the tarot can help us understand the story a bit better as well. We have the Three of Pentacles, very interesting. Three of Cups. Three of Pentacles again, double Three of Pentacles, okay. And lots of three. Three is an important number for you. Five of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles energy. Earth, life, the physical world. Queen of Pentacles. And the Death card. Yeah, I think the Death card is very, very applicable in this reading, because I think that you are coming to an end of a cycle for sure. And that's a part of what your soul is doing in this moment. I feel it a lot. You know, I think that predator-prey dynamic is, like I said, I think it's something that's repeated over and over and over again. And I think that might have been your multiple lifetimes thing. And remember, this is one aspect of self. This isn't like, we're not talking about, you know, the only most important thing that you're doing in this lifetime. Like, no, this is just about, like I said, what your soul is working through right now and expressing in this moment. And that's, you know, that's different, right? There's a multitude of things that we go through and we express and we learn over time. And so this isn't to, you know, to downplay that at all. But I do think that there's an end of a cycle happening with the Death card, and there's a need to embrace that ending, embrace that feeling of transformation. The transformation that happens from the Death card is an internal one, you know, because I think that you're ready to, you know, you're ready to partner with other people. And that's really huge in the tarot stuff too. It's like this transition is moving you away from that predator-prey dynamic in relationships and moving you into a sense of working together, a sense of camaraderie, a sense of understanding about other people. It's like those past relationships about others. It's that dynamic. Remember how I said that the predator and the prey exist together? You don't have to be either one of them. And I think that that's really important to remember, is that, you know, you can take off the whole dynamic, and there's a whole other way of working into the world that has nothing to do with that kill or be killed mindset, right? That mindset is something that we do not have to maintain as a human species, and it's something that we continuously forget over and over again. And I think that that's a part of why this is coming up now, is this is a group dynamic as well. I mean, this is collectively what we're working on right now. I mean, it's our collective dark night of the soul, unquestionably, but it's important to remember, like, we can work together, and you can work with other people, that there are like-minded people who are good for you out there. You know, there are people out there who are decent people who just want what's best for themselves and for others, and want to create community with each other. And it's by connecting in on that, like that's humanity's greatest strength, is being able to do that. And we've done that. We've worked together. We've collaborated on so many things as human beings. And this is about learning how to connect into that dynamic within the self. And I think that that's a part of what this transformational moment that you're encountering right now is showing you, is how to do that. You know, you're moving away. The thing about this is the grief card and the loss card, and you do lose a lot here in this card. You know, look at all these cups that have spilt, but the thing is that there's one cup that is still standing upright. And that's so important, right? And it's like, by learning how to let go of the things that are gone, you can embrace the things that remain. Now, that doesn't mean you can't feel, like, you have to feel all the things. Always feel all the things. But all the emotions, all of the feelings, let yourself go through all of it. But the thing is, when you do that, you learn how to see the things in life that are really cherishable and really worth it. And that's a part of this journey that you're on, is learning how to undo that predator-prey dynamic and learn how to connect in with those who are like-minded, to build a community around you and to connect into that. There's so much physical world, new beginning in the physical world. The Queen of Cups is new. There's I wouldn't be surprised if you have moved recently, or you planning on moving, or you want to go somewhere else. And maybe that's a part of it too, is like, you know, you could have been, and it doesn't even have to be, I mean, it is physical here. You don't have to move. Take it as it resonates. But there is an idea within this reading that changing your location could be very helpful in closing one chapter and opening up another, even if it's temporary. But like, it's like moving on from a certain thing. It could be even like, you know, changing up the places that you spend time. You don't have to necessarily move, but you could like spend your time with new people, go to new places, start following your interests, and meet people who are like-minded in that way, and connect in with those like-minded people. And by doing that, you release this need to have this take or be taken mentality, and connect in with those who are helpful. And you know, the thing about it is, the way that you do that, if you've been the prey so much, it's about having really strong boundaries. And that's not easy, but when you learn how to, like, you know now that you've been through this cycle enough, and I think that this ending is happening because you know now how to recognize when somebody is going to take you for a ride. Like, you know how to see it now. But the thing is, you don't have to engage with that, you know? And in fact, by seeing it, knowing it, viewing it, you can walk away from it. And the more that you just continue to disengage from anybody who's trying to put you back into that dynamic, instead of engaging with them, instead of falling into the pattern, instead of continuing the thing, you disengage from it, and you find the people who are like-minded, and you find the people who connect with you who aren't in that pattern. Because the thing is, and even if you don't see them right now, the thing is, there are so many people out there who are not involved in that patterning, who see it for what it is. You know, it's not about it's not about being naive. It's about seeing it, knowing what it is way ahead of time, and just walking away from it. saying, no, I can see this dynamic. I don't want to be a part of this dynamic. I'm going to move into something else. And the more that you can do that, the more that you connect into this new energy that's coming in, this new dynamic, these new people, and you can build in this powerful community with those people around you because they're there. It's just about getting out there and finding them. And I think that that's a part of what your soul is ready to do in this moment, is to disengage from those people who are no longer serving in that way and to connect in on that deeper level with the like-minded community who are there for you, who want to be a part of your life. So anyway, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that that resonates, pile number one. Let me know in the comments if it resonates. That was a powerful spiritual reading. I'm so thankful and so happy that I'm getting these right now. And this reminded me of the old days. So thank you so much to Spirit. I appreciate your Spirit team and my Spirit team for giving us those powerful messages. If you would like a private reading from me, I can get in depth on any situation. So you can find information on my website, junodrome.com. And that's it for me. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. We're going to be finding out what is your soul here to do in this moment. Our souls are on multi-cellular journeys, multi-solar platforms, creating many ways and modes in reality. Multi-dimensional is the word I was looking for. Multi-dimensional beings and lives. So obviously there are many reasons why our souls incarnate on Earth, I believe. And so there are many reasons why your soul is on this planet. You have many lessons to learn, many things to go through. But what's going on right now? What's happening in the dynamic of your life right now? And what is the larger soul connection to that moment, to that thing, to that place? Now for you, you chose this lantern here. And the lantern is the key symbol of the hermit. So there's a sense, there's a potential that you're hermiting a little bit, you're on your own a little bit, potentially, and it's the light within, it's the knowledge and wisdom inside. So there's a sense that maybe your soul in this moment is understanding things on a deeper level, is going within to learn more. Now the card says, you shall see wonders. So there is another sense too with that, lots of forest and trees, and it's about adventure. It's about seeing for the trees. Let's look at more of your archetypes as well. I pulled a fair amount of archetypal cards to get a better picture of what's happening for you. And we're going to do all of the archetypes first, and then we'll do the tarot after. So you have a lot of archetypes, which is fine, but we'll get into them all and then we'll figure out what's happening. Now you have the Mother. You have the Sustainer. Wow, okay. I'm already getting feelings. You have the World card. And I have to cover up a little bit. You have the Ship. You have the Whip, the Book, and the Rabbit. Okay, so, a lot of, we'll see when we get to the tarot, but I'm getting Empress vibes hardcore in this as well. This is cool. I think that you are a creator heavily. A creator being. I mean, we all are creator beings if you subscribe to certain parts of spirituality. But I think for you, there's a lot of Mother Earth energy. The rabbit is a highly reproductive card, but that's not, it's about abundance and creation. The Ship is adventure. You got the Adventure, the Sustainer, building, look at, there's clay here, this hands, this person is building, shipbuilding. Your soul is here to make things, to create things, to bring things into the world. Absolutely. You're birthing something into the world right now. I think that you're going within in this moment with the Lantern card, and you're bringing something out. But there's a need to go on the inward adventure, though. Without, it's interesting. I think some people here may be experiencing writer's block. Take it as it resonates for you. But I think that there's a feeling of, maybe I have a creative pile here, or take it, whatever. There's a block. There is a block. And I think the block is that you're feeling required to produce. You're feeling as though you must make, you must create, but it's coming from a place of the masculine and not the feminine. And here there's so much femininity. There's overwhelming femininity. And even in the World card, it's a woman that I can't show because she's not wearing anything, but there's that overflow of femininity in this reading. And I don't care what your gender is, it doesn't matter. This is like the divine feminine energy. And so, you are the divine feminine on a deeper level, regardless of your gender. And in fact, it's like the divine feminine is a very important part of you. And I think we all contain everything. I think we contain the multitudes, but particularly if you've been feeling blocked, and maybe this is a long process. Maybe the block was a while ago, and you're already on this journey, right? Take it for you. But the journey that you're on right now, it is that hermit. It is going within. You need to explore the inner journey. I think that's very important with that book card. You might be a writer. Take it for you. I thought pile number 1 might be a writer too. So pile number 1 might mean something to you too. Take it for you. These readings do blend in with each other a lot. So you may want to check that one out. It's different, but there might be something there for you. There's a need to go on that inward journey. With the world, you are leveling up, and that leveling up, moving on to the next chapter. This next chapter for you is a deeply internal one. With the Sustainer, you're being asked in this moment, your soul is trying to learn how to allow itself to daydream. In a way, it's like you have to let yourself daydream, because the daydreams are where all of the things come from, where the ideas come from, the wellspring. This is about tapping into that inner wellspring, and you are powerful enough to do it. In fact, it's like it's your most powerful tool, at least right now. With that whip, the whip, I think that you've been stuck in the productivity mindset that is, it's so overly prevalent in the world right now that it's hard to get away from. But I think that, maybe if you've been feeling like you have been in that writer's block, it's coming from this overtly critical, self-pushing, self-flagellating, go, do, must energy that is not at all conducive to the creative flow that you need to be in order to bring forth the magical material that you're attempting to do. And I think that attempt is the biggest word here. I think that it's like, you have to let this come to you. You can't try to push it out. You have to let it come, because it's you're co-creating this thing. This is something that's coming to you. And this is my own view of creativity as a creative person. But I think a lot of that stuff is not, we're the ones who are channeling things in, but I think we're channeling things a lot of the time. I think that we're bringing something from somewhere else into this world. And it's easy to get lost into this thought of, I need to push something out of myself, but that's not what it is. Something comes to you and you let it leak out of yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to let yourself be open enough to let the things come in. And this is a moment of doing that for you. And I think that that's a part of this next chapter that you're entering into, the thing that your soul is here to do right now in this moment is to even like not even write it down. I mean, you can if you want to, but I think that you need to practice the spontaneous flow of creativity without it needing to be anything. And I think that's really, really, really important. It's like the experimentation energy. It's the opening up to spontaneity energy. It's the idea that there are no right or wrong things that could come to you. So instead of trying to force something in, this is a moment of letting whatever is in come out, whatever it is, in whatever way. You know, you could experiment with mediums right now, you know, it's trying different mediums. If you're a writer, try painting. If you're a painter, try poetry. If you're a poet, try singing. If you know, this is like experimenting, you know, try collage, you know, whatever. That's like, it's about doing things differently and letting things come and exploring the internal world. I think that's the biggest thing, you know. This could be, you could start doing some guided meditations where you let your mind journey to different worlds and you imagine characters and you imagine yourself talking to characters, right? Like child play energy, where you become, you know, the scientist or the archaeologist or the rocket ship astronaut, or, you know, and you play it out, you know. And I think that you're being encouraged in this moment to let that play come through and to just start practicing that a little bit without recording, right? You don't even have to record it. Just let yourself play for a while in it. Let yourself ruminate in the ideas of your stories. Let yourself feel them out. Let yourself go to different worlds on the inner journey, you know. Really carve out some time where you can have a clean, clear, calming space. Maybe even, you know, mood lighting, comfortable, and then just let yourself go on an imagination journey and see where it takes you. Imagine something, live in that imaginative space, go on that journey, you know, with that ship card. And I mean, you could read somebody else's work as well, you know, explore other works. But I think it's less that, it's more going in yourself, learning how to hear it, learning how to see it, learning how to be in that world. And then the more that you can just play in that space, then you can start experimenting with recording, and whatever recording means to you, whatever your medium is. Because I am getting heavy artistic vibes here. And I felt artistic vibes from pile number 1 as well. So, you know, there's that. But, you know, pile number 1 is in a very particular dynamic. So it might resonate, it might not. You're more open. You're not necessarily in the dynamic that pile number 1 is in. And so I think because of that, it's like you have this opening to journey, to create. It's like you've freed yourself enough to be in this real play journey space and to just let things come out and not be afraid to do that. You know, I think that you've transcended some of the physical stuff a little bit, you know, and so you're ready to go on this inward journey and this internal expression and adventure in the self. And now is the time for that. That is what your soul is here in this moment to do, is to go on that journey. Now, let's look at the tarot, because there's a bunch of tarot cards too. So we'll see if the tarot is reflecting this, what the tarot is recommending, that sort of thing. Just give me one moment and we'll get the tarot out here. So for our tarot cards, we have the World again. Okay, so the World is absolutely the most important piece of information here. And we'll just borrow this ship card as well to do some covering up. But the World is really big. You're on the next chapter. You're exploring your inner world, I think. We also have the Queen of Swords, more mind energy, air, absolutely. The Five of Swords, more air energy, definitely. The Two of Cups and the Six of Wands. So with all of this, you know, Six of Wands is victory. So you're in a victorious moment. This next chapter is one where I think that, you know, if you have been in a writer's block, you definitely won't be in the future. because this is a moment of really exploring where you are and going on that inward journey. The more that you can do that and share this inner joy with yourself, the more that you create this deep expression. And I think the more that you can connect into this level, the more you're going to be feeling so good about yourself and about life and about everything, because you'll be in the flow again, that the more that you can do that, the better you feel. So I really do encourage, to take that exploration with no expectations. And that's so huge. With the Two of Cups, this is a moment of connecting in with the self. It can talk about partnership with others, but it can also talk about partnership with the self. And I think for you in particular, this really is about connecting into those deeper personal levels of tuning into who you are, of bringing forth your own inner journey, your own inner self, and using that moving forward, of having this powerful self-realization, self-connection, self-determined understanding, and charging forward with that. It's so important to do that and to let yourself do it, tapping into that inner feminine being, the divine feminine being, that receptive energy, letting things come to you. This is a moment for that. With the Five of Swords, this is also about, I think it's about letting go of the image and idea of what you thought things were supposed to be in this. And I think that's really huge. The Five of Swords can talk about a lot. It can talk about battling with other people and kind of like winning the battle reluctantly. So there is a sense of there's a little bit of grief in the sense that you might have to let go of some past assumptions, some past ideas, some past imagination of what you thought this process would look like. There is a need to let go of that, to let go of the expectation. And a part of letting go of the expectation is letting go of some of these ideas of what your future would be and what you thought that the story would be, or even the stories, too. It's like if you're trying to force a story out, then it's not right. And this is about letting go of that and trusting that the right material will come back, the right ideas will come back, the right understanding will come back, and something more will come out of it as well. And so letting go of the expectation, the need for it to be something, the desire for, one particular thing to be what's happening, and instead to let things be what they are and let things unfold the way that they need to, letting things just come to you instead of forcing them out. This is a moment of being able to do that and to let go, like I said, of those expectations. Now with the Queen of Swords, it's also about cutting away the distractions too, Like I said before, there's a need to create a clear, clean space in order to do these things, in order to create these things, in order to incorporate this energy and understanding. There is a need of releasing any kind of expectation, releasing any kind of distractions, finding a nice, clear, clean space, carving out some real time to do this. The more that you can do that, the more you can have a clear connection point, the more that it creates the full being, the full understanding, the full moment, the full reality. And that's what your soul's here to do. You're ready. It's time. It's the moment. Don't feel as though you have to force this. This is coming. Things will come to you. Let them come to you. And like I said, you don't even have to write it down for now. Trust that it'll come back. If it's really important, it will come back. It's more important for you to learn how to get into the flow than it is for you to record the flow at this point. But the more that you can practice getting into the flow of letting the ideas come, of letting the dreams come, of letting the daydream come, the more you can explore those worlds, the more that you'll be able to do it and record it at the same time. And you can start to practice that slowly. Instead of starting with the recording method and trying to force something out, this is about getting into the flow without needing it to be anything. And then, the more that you can do that, the more it'll become so overwhelmingly exciting that you'll have to write it down, or even record it. Maybe practice voice recording, and play with voice recording and just say the thing instead of having to write it, and then you can go back and transcribe it later. Those kinds of things. I think the more that you can play around with that, the more you're going to feel as though you've really got it. You're really tuned into it. You're really making it happen. You're really moving with it, right? All right, pile number 2, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that this resonates. Please do let me know in the comments. These are really powerful spiritual readings. And so I thank your guides. I thank my guides. I thank the universe for giving these messages, for letting me open up to this flow, because I'm so happy to be doing this right now. It feels amazing. I'm so thankful. So thank you so much. Please, if you'd like a private reading, there on the website. You can find information in the description. I'd love to give you one. Let me go in depth about your situation. Let's figure things out together. I'd be happy to. And please subscribe for more content. Thank you so much. Catch you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. We're figuring out what is your soul here to do in this moment. What does that mean? It means, I think that we have multi-dimensional selves, right? I think we do many things in these lifetimes. I think that we have many purposes in life. I think that we move through many tales and many journeys of the self. I don't think there's just one thing, and I think that's important. But this isn't just about what your soul, the one thing your soul is meant to do, right? This is about what's happening now in this moment, and how does that relate to the larger soul tale of your existence? It's a part of why you're going through what you're going through, why you're exploring what you're going through in this moment. What's happening to you on a cellular level, solar level. It's not a word, but you know what I mean. On a deeper level, on a multi-dimensional, multi-conscious level. What's happening to you in this moment? Why are you here right now in this moment? 4114 was just on the clock, and that is a palindrome. That might mean something to you, maybe not. Take it as it resonates. But for you, you have this house, right? And it is falling apart, but also things are growing in it. And it's almost like, there's something growing out of the old self. I think that there's a transformation happening within you, and you might still be, the old bones of the old story are still here, but there's something new that's growing out of it for you in this moment. And so your soul it's wanting to transform. It's like, it's like you're ready to let this house go, or you're ready to renovate the old bones, You're ready to go and take what you want from the past that you're ready to move forward with, and to release all the things that are no longer applicable anymore. It's about growing into a new thing, letting yourself transform. I think that's a big part of what you're going through. This says, it is in the shelter of each other that people live. Interesting. So there's a sense of community being very important for you too in this moment. All right, so let's look at the archetypes. There's many archetypal cards that I pulled for you. We'll look at all the archetypes together and then try to get a better picture of what this moment is for you. You've got the Chariot. You've got the Village. The Village. It takes a village. Okay, yeah. Cool. All right. I love it when, things relate to other things. You have the Lady. Interesting. And you have the Hummingbird. Okay, so your archetypes are relating what your soul is in this moment. With the Village and that house talking about, let's look at the proverb. It is in the shelter of each other that people live. Community is really, really important for you at this time. And if you feel like you're alone, I think that maybe it's time to build community. And that's what your soul is craving right now. A part of what your soul is here in this moment to do is to be, you might be a community organizer. Or community organizing might be something that's needed for you. If you don't have the community that you want, you're here to make it. If the world is not looking the way that you need it to be, if you're feeling like you're craving and lacking the right people in your life, This is a moment where you take that, you change things, you catalyze it, and you move it forward. Also, I think your soul is moving quite quickly right now with the chariot and the hummingbird. Both of these are fast moving things. And so maybe that's a part of it too. It's like you have the ability to do things quicker than other people. And a part of that is your tool that can help other people in this moment. And maybe even like, you know, obviously this is your soul journey, but I think that you're craving this. I think you're craving connection, first of all, but I think that you're ready to take your skills and help other things out. You know, I think with that, like with the house that's falling apart and the things growing out of it, it's like your soul's journey, this journey that you've been on, the things that you've learned in this lifetime, you're at the point where you're ready to catalyze those into something new. With the lady, you know, I'm trying to think of what that is. It's definitely divine feminine energy, which is the receptive energy, but maybe it's like you know, you're a catalyst for sure. With that swift moving action, you're a catalyst for larger change that incorporates more than just yourself. You're on a journey that's really community driven. You know, you're an important member of the community. If you feel that way, even if you feel that way or you don't feel that way, you're an important person in helping others. It's important that you take that sense of community understanding and move forward with it. Like, this one's tough. You got a tough reading here, pile number 3. And I think it's because it's like the other two were such inward understandings. I think you've done a lot of inner growing, you know, with that house card. I think you have. I think you've moved through things. You're at the phase where you're ready to take that and bring that to the world more. And I think, you know, a part of it is building a community. And I do get that feeling of renovation. You know, that house with renovation, a light just went on outside. So this is important. You're renovating, you know, you're renovating the old and transforming it into something new. And I think that you can see the things in the world, you know, even on the local level. I think this is about the local level for you. But you can see those things on the local level that need to be fixed and changed, and you can do that. Like you're here to be a catalyst in that. You're here to help that transformation move forward and create something new for the world out of the old bones, you know, and like taking the old systems, taking the old things and helping to transform them. That's such a big, important part of the world that we are inheriting right now, and what it is that those of us who are here on the deeper spiritual level are, and just in general, actually everybody, you know, but anybody who's wanting to do positive change in the world, you know, not trying to just take everything for themselves, but those of us who want positive change, you know, a big part of our journey in this moment is renovating the things that are broken and creating something new out of that. And I think that that's a big part of why your soul is here. It's like you're here in this moment for a reason. Like you are here and you're ready to go. You're rearing to go, you know. And with that lady card, this is about the transformation from the patriarchal systems into a matriarchal system. You know, it's like it's getting rid of the patriarchy and having a new way of doing things based on kindness and goodness and patience. Sorry, I'm just looking at my little my little stones, but they're popping out at me. You know, it's about that. It's about, you know, slowing down. As much as this is fast moving energy, it's funny. It's like maybe everything around you is happening so fast, and so it's like you're here to help slow things down, to move things different. It's like you're definitely moving at a different speed than everybody else, whether it's faster or slower. It's like there's a different speed happening, and it's like you're helping to downshift the craziness into something more grounded, I think, too, you know. And that's a part of why you're here, and a big part of your soul's intention in being here in this moment is to be a part of that journey, is to move through that stuff, is to work through that stuff with the world on that deeper community level. And of course, you know, it doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to change the world, It's about you and your local space and your local level, So if you see something in your community, in your day-to-day that you wish could be different, you actually have the power to make a difference, to change things. And even if you can't do it yourself, I think that village, it takes a village to change things. It takes a community. So who are your village members? Who are your allies? Who are your connection points? Who can help you? And maybe this is about actual community organizing, whether you've considered doing that or not. I think maybe you'd be really good at that, and whatever that means to you. Like I said, it could be at the very small little local level, but it's about getting team players involved in making a difference, in doing things, in changing the system, in changing the way things work. You have power to do that. But that power, I think, comes on a small plane. It's knowing that those small choices, those small decisions, those small things make a big difference. And that, the more you can chip away at it one step at a time, the more you're actually able to cultivate and create something powerful. And this is a time for you to be able to do that. This is a moment where you can do that, where you can connect into all of that stuff and help your people. And to do that, and of course, obviously help yourself before you help others. But I think that a part of this moment is that you've done a lot of that inner work already. You've done a lot of inner transformation, and now's the moment of really taking that and catalyzing it into something new and creating something different. And maybe you're still in the transformation side of this, and this is the next moment for you. It could be. And if you feel like you're going through big transition right now, maybe this is like helping you see what that transition is leading you to, and seeing what you're capable of, and seeing what you can do, But that village is big there. It's like you're here to build a village, right? And to have that community and to build that community into your life in some aspect. There's an importance in tuning into that journey for yourself. Now let's take a look at the tarot, because there's a lot of tarot cards, and so there's a lot more to this story going on. Let's figure out what wants to come out with that. Oops. Okay. You got a lot of tarot. You got the 8 of Wands, which is more fast-moving energy there, so that's interesting. You got the 7 of Pentacles. 4 of Swords. Yeah. Okay. King of Wands. Yeah. 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. I'm sorry, 8 of Cups. But you do have also the 8 of Wands again. 8 of Wands twice. Wow. 8 of Wands twice, and the Chariot, and all of this fast moving, and the Hummingbird. Things are happening really, really, really quickly right now for you. And so, and it's also that buzzing electric energy. You might be buzzing. You might be going through a spiritual awakening. Take that as it resonates. But, you might be encountering more inner electrical energy than usual. I mean, not literal electricity, but things could be buzzing for you right now on a deeper level. So there's an importance with that rest card. If you are encountering that kind of energy, there is a really deep need to ground yourself, to rest, to let things go in. You have to be a lightning rod for this kind of energy. You can't hold it. You have to let it flow through you, which I think is another part of this being a community organization sort of feeling from you, is like the stuff that's coming to you on the deeper spiritual level, it's not meant for you to hold alone. And that's really important. It's something that's meant for you to share with other people. It's something that's meant for you to take and to give to the community. It's something for you to let it come into you and to flow through you and then move out of you. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're not holding it all within yourself, right? That you're letting the energy disperse. There's a really deep importance of that. And that's a part of why it's coming to you as the conduit, I think, is because you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to share things, to move things out. So, take it one step at a time. I think with that 8 of Cups, you are walking away from certain things that are moving you towards this thing. Like, this is definitely something that's entering into your life. And so because of that, you might be moving away from other things, and so that's let yourself cross the I's and dot the T's before you move on to this next phase. Make sure that you're you're letting go of all the things that you're ready to let go of, and you're not holding on to anything too quickly. But I do think there's a sense of really letting this come in and letting yourself move into this direction, whatever that feels like for you. With that King of Wands, you're a master manifester. And so it's like you're here to manifest things into the world for others, for yourself too. You know, it starts with you do it for you, and then you share it with the community. But I think that it's like, I think that you're a strong, prominent member of whatever community you're a part of. And if you're not, then this is where you're headed. And, you know, with that Seven of Pentacles, I think this is something you've been working on in some area, you know, so this, I feel like if this didn't fit, you would have turned away already, you know, so, you know, you might already know exactly what this is talking about, but like with that Seven of Pentacles, this is you're not there yet. You're almost at the harvest season, but you've been working for a while. There's more work to do. There's more to do here. It's not the end, but you're moving in the right direction, and it's happening. Things are moving. Because ultimately, you know, what you're doing is you're building intergenerational community here with that Ten of Pentacles. This is something that you're building that's way bigger than you, and you know that. And so whatever it is you're working on, this is something that's like a lifelong journey as well. I think that's important to remember. The Ten of Pentacles is a lifelong pursuit. So take your time with it. Take things slow. Don't feel as though things have to happen all at once. This is a lifelong pursuit that you're working on. Always remember that, you know. Anyway, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that this reading resonates. Yours is one that I don't really understand. And these readings, I channel readings. So, you know, they come and they're not meant for me. And this one is not meant for me. I don't understand this one very much, but maybe you do. So let me know in the comments if this connects. 555 means change, 5555 on the clock. So, you know, change is here for you. Please, if you would like a private reading with me, I can get really in depth in your life and on your situation. So please don't hesitate to check on the website, junodrome.com. I would love to give you a private reading. Let me know. And that's it for me. If you please subscribe for more content. There's a lot more readings like this out there on my channel. Thank you so much. I will catch you later. Bye.